go.
Yeah, Raven Larry time. Everyone's favorite angle.
There you go. Let's talk about it. I've marked it off on red. We have to.
November 19th, Jarrett is in Larry's office. Jarrett thought they had a deal done. Larry booked Jarrett against Rhino for the pay-per-view. I like the way we're talking about it, but the point is, the way this ties into Raven is like my favorite little thing where Jarrett's like, what about Raven's rematch? He didn't get his rematch.
I like how it's not, Raven should have this match. It's, we should not be giving people rematches.
Yeah, it's like, are you giving Rhino a rematch? You didn't give Raven a rematch. What about Monty? He never got another match.
Exactly. But like, I like that it's kind of a perfect excuse for Jarrett to make, because there's no way in hell that Larry Zbyszko is going to be like, yeah, you're right, let's give Raven the match.
Because he hates Raven.
So technically he can get away with making that point in this like one particular circumstance.
There is like a percentage more goofery to this Jarrett reign that I do appreciate.
It's infinitely better than the last one.
Like this kind of stuff where like it's good heel stuff to be booked in a rematch against Rhino, and you're like, well, what about Raven?
Plus, it's funny because it's the catchphrase.
Yeah. So then November 26th Impact, Raven and Larry have a feature. Larry then has a new release for Raven to sign. Raven refuses, so Larry books him in a House of Fun match next week against unnamed opponents.
I love that match.
So it's the main event of the December 3rd Impact. It is Raven versus all three of the Diamonds in the Rough in a House of Fun match.
I love this match. It's just dumb, stupid shit. And I love that Larry is still trying to get the man to just leave. Like, he's tried like 7 times now.
Yeah, because at the start of the match, he offers Raven a chance to sign his release again. Raven's like,
Again.
I'll only do it if I can sign it in your blood.
Which is a great line.
Larry snipes about his girlfriend, and then Raven lunges at Larry again. Then Larry introduces all of the Diamonds in the Rough as Raven's opponents.
Which is like, you see that and you kind of think that Raven's just going to win. And then he doesn't.
Yeah, he gets beaten by the Diamonds in the Rough. They're really on a run of form here at the moment, until the pay-per-view.
Well, because, you know, they're building up to the big pay-per-view match.
They set Raven up on crutches so that he's standing up, so that Skipper can dropkick a trash can into his head.
Awesome.
They pull him up on a pin, and then Larry gets the release again and says, sign the release and then they'll pin you or whatever. And then they cut Raven open with a stapler. Cassidy Riley tries to make the save but gets shut down, and Larry once again demands sign the release. Raven refuses, so they throw him through a table on the floor and pin him.
Good stuff. You were low on this.
I thought it was a fine little plunder match, but nothing special.
I just thought it was like a good change of pace from the TV main events.
You're back on the Raven train after months being off the Raven train.
I think I'm just like against his booking more than I am against Raven.
Primetime special, December 8th. Larry is begging Raven to sign.
He's gone from demanding to just like, please.
Raven's like, give me a title match. It's like, you can't get a title match. You lost last week. Losers don't get title matches.
Be career best title.
Larry has another mystery opponent for Raven at Turning Point. And that mystery opponent is who better than Kanyon?
Who better than K?
Yeah, Chris K. Apparently there's like a whole thing that like he was like, maybe you can use Kanyon, but then they're like, no, we don't think we can. So you're Chris K, because his shoot name begins with a K. So I guess that's how they can get away with it. That he is in fact Chris K.
They should have made it Chris with a K.
It's call forward to Caleb with a K.
Ooh. No, I just meant like the actual word Chris. But yeah, that's great.
Chris with a K and Caleb with a K is the continuity in TNA history. There was the same deal as always. Larry's like, sign. Raven is like, no. Raven is like, you're a game show answer to a question nobody has ever asked, which is like a great burn.
The Raven's one-liners are kind of still like heat.
Yeah. The match, it's fine. Kanyon bumps a lot.
It's a good little match.
Yeah, it's a nice little like 7-minute match where Kanyon is very clearly like working for a job. This is his only TNA match, I think. But obviously doesn't get one.
He would have been fun in the X Division as a guy who like innovated a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, the kind of guy you just throw into the scrambles and into the wacky matches.
Yeah, a guy for like an Aries or a Shelley to beat.
And like obviously these two have history going back to the Flock, going back to WCW. So there's a little layer you have to adding these two.
Obviously.
You and your love of WCW.
I wish it was Kidman. Now that I'm seeing that Kidman was like talked about, that'd be fun.
Yeah, because apparently Kanyon was offered to do it last month when Justin Credible did it, and he was like, "No, I want more money." And then they're like, "No."
Next month he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll take.
I'll do it for fucking anything." But the alternative would have been Billy Kidman apparently. But Billy Kidman would have been cool.
Billy Kay.
Yeah, Kanyon working super hard. Like he gets a knee lift and he takes like a full bump over the ropes for it, and then gets hip tossed down the ramp.
It is kind of surprising that he doesn't get like more dates. He was good here.
Raven powerbombs Kanyon on a chair and falls with the Raven effect for the win. Larry comes back and demands Raven sign the release. Raven and Larry start brawling.
I'm reading this Kidman story, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, there's something about him no-showing a show in Winnipeg and something about abandoning Tori Wilson in Australia, but I don't know the context of what Dave is saying, so
Because, like, it's written so poorly.
It's the classic, one, he doesn't explain what he means. I assume it's in older observers, I didn't look it up. And two, as you said, it's written in Dave, so it's so impossible to parse.
I believe the other alternative was the debut Billy Kidman, but Kidman is another one of those guys on the you can't trust him to show up list after blowing Winnipeg and causing Tori Wilson to rush home from Australia, so who knows. Kanyon told TNA that they could just use his name, but went asked to change the spelling to Kanyon just in case. Yeah, that sentence is horrific.
The man needs an editor.
To this day! Did you see the fucking Hall of Fame list?
Which one?
The one they announced the Hall of Fame candidates, and Rick and Scott Stein. I was like, no one proofread it.
It's only the most influential publication in wrestling. It's fine. No one needs to proofread it.
Pay an editor.
I think he does have an editor.
Get a new one.